Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Doc and Mav of ReadySetCrypto. Joining you here today, Wednesday, the 17th of November. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. Check in, let us know where you're coming in from. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you would. And check in with us. It helps us beat the algorithm. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you do. Smash the likes. And welcome aboard, everybody. And we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. Lots to talk about today in the crypto market. How you doing out there, Mav?
Good. I am enjoying this sale on some awesome altcoins. We'll definitely get into that. But yeah, I think this is a very natural, healthy pullback that we're kind of expecting. And we can use this as an opportunity to start padding our portfolio into 2022. So yeah, let's get some people in here and we'll start talking about some really exciting projects.
Yeah, we got, let's see, we got London here, we got Sacramento, we got Brooklyn, New York, we have Coventry, Afghanistan, Australia is checking in as well too. Now, once Mav is going to walk you through kind of what's going on in the market overall and some of his thoughts on it. And after that, I'll cut over and look at the charts and tell you what I'm seeing on the charts. Is really the same thing I said last week, that I did not want to see a breakout last week. In fact, I wanted to see the market consolidate for a while. I'll show you why, and I'll show you what levels that we're watching around this as well too. See who else we got here. We have Belgium, Moscow, Turkey, Stuttgart, Germany. We have New Jersey, and let me know if there's any specific pairs or coins that you want me to take a look at. So we only have time to go through kind of one run around here. So if you get those coins in early, I'll get them on the list and I'll make sure to go through them.
All right. Cool. Yeah. All right, yeah.
So Jan's expecting another shakeout. We have Brazil. Okay, so Shane, I got your XDC. Jonathan, I got your QNT. POLC, I don't know if that one is, I'll have to see if that's listed, Mark.
Proton chain, awesome. Definitely helium. I wish I was mining that right now. I've heard good things. Trader Joe, yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's get right into it. Let's start talking about some cool projects that I'm watching right now. And yep, gonna definitely talk about AVAX. That is definitely one that I've been watching, basically for months now. And it is just on the cusp of the top 10, isn't it? It's number 12, fighting Shiba and Doge. So, but yeah, it's definitely a bloodbath in the markets today, kind of continuing where we were yesterday. But you got breakouts like Crypto.com Coin with their announcement of, they're going to be taking over the Staples Center. It's now going to be the Crypto.com Center, which I think is a terrible name. But that is a $700 million deal. That's $35 million per year to maintain those naming rights. That is big money. So
where are they getting that money from, I wonder?
Probably from Matt Damon, something like that. I don't know.
Order flow.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is kind of what we expected. This is, just natural trends in this market. We see consolidation, we see run-ups, and then we see profit taking. And, this is what we were seeing pretty much last week when we were talking about blowing off the top. People were taking profits, didn't quite have the energy to get back up there. So here we are this week, entertaining a sub $60,000 Bitcoin. So scary, I know, but that's okay. That is the peak prime opportunity for us to start looking into alts, start looking for those sorts of coins that are going to show promise. Should Big Daddy Bitcoin not be able to pull the market along anymore, we'll see us diversify into alts. So to that end, let's talk about some of the alts that I am watching right now. If you would like to follow along with this list, it is down in the bio below. Get much better view of this, especially if you're on a smartphone or anything like that. But this is just a very small list of some of the projects we're watching right now. And I think for context for this one of the things we like to do at the end of the year is start to look about those big trends that are going to be affecting the crypto space, in the months and years ahead. So through that lens, some of the big things that we're seeing right now, in no particular order, well, maybe the biggest one right now is definitely NFTs, but seeing NFTs move into sort of a non-art space, moving into things like wills and degrees and certifications and inheritance and other things like that. I think that is going to be very promising for NFTs to start kind of diversifying in application and utility. So we're definitely going to see more of that. We're definitely going to see more of metaverse type projects now that Facebook or Meta has sort of kicked that off, and we are definitely going to see the crypto blockchain space kind of adopt that, become something more akin to just how Facebook tried to launch Libra, didn't really work out, but we got so many other projects that kind of stole their thunder and came along, and now they're the ones that are diversified, innovating, all that good stuff. Another thing we're going to see more of is GameFi, or like play to earn. So the combination of gaming, NFTs, and DeFi. People getting real assets, or having assets follow them game to game, being able to basically make an income from playing games, which is kind of cool. And other things we'll see are like cross-chain or interoperability, and more of this like tokenization of assets, things like hybrid smart contracts. A lot of really cool things going on right now. So we talk about that more in our Omnia newsletter. That's where we get more in depth on this kind of stuff and do more research and try to tell you what's coming down the pipeline in terms of blockchain innovation and things you should be following, the trends. But for right now, let's talk about the sort of projects that I think are a good representation of some of those trends we're talking about. For example, Avalanche, as someone pointed out, it's a great project. I think they're doing amazing things right now. They're trying to basically solve all the problems of Ethereum in terms of being fast, in terms of being cheap to transact on, in terms of being, just a lot more capable of scaling to something that is, going to be able to host things like NFTs and DeFi applications and all the things that Ethereum wants to be, but is sort of failing at right now. So Avalanche is one of this up and coming, really hot projects that has a lot of really great ideas, and it's just cool to see them grow. Another one is Phantom, also a smart contract platform, and also doing a lot of really interesting, cool things. Love to see where they're taking things. Love to see that they're doing lots of development, like fundraising, and trying to attract people to build on their platform. And yeah, I think it's just been really hot lately, and one that we have definitely kept our eye on. Similar to that is Kusama, which is building off of Polkadot. And this is more of an interoperability project. This is one that's going to play to Polkadot's strengths in terms of being interoperable, being scalable for the blockchain systems. This is sort of something that we're going to see a lot more of in 2022. This idea that you don't have to be slow or expensive to send assets around when you're dealing with blockchain. You can have some really interoperable, really scalable projects built off of things like Polkadot, and Kusama is kind of how that's getting orchestrated. So very cool to see. Now, talking about like metaverse type stuff, what we have been talking about for a while this year is Sandbox. This is one of the first sort of metaverse NFT type projects out there where you're owning almost like virtual real estate and you're building off of that. And I think there's a lot of really cool things going on right there. A lot of cool games getting built out of it. And yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of people's first exposure to what is possible with metaverse when you combine it with things like blockchain. So very exciting to see how far they've come just in the course of this year, and got a lot of great ideas on display there. Another one I think is doing a lot of really cool stuff is AMP, and it's basically a payments platform on Ethereum, which doesn't sound exciting off the first glance, but some of their what they're doing, what they're bringing to the forefront, I think is actually very, very cool, and kind of represents what I think is like the next stage of DeFi, where we start to see it more applied to how people actually use finance. And yeah, brings a lot of advantages that I think is going to help DeFi scale and continue to be adopted. And yeah, I think there's a lot of really good ideas on display with AMP. Gala is another gaming project, and it's one that is more of a platform and really just is an exchange. Yeah, it's very similar to the Sandbox, in terms of there's in between trading between games, and allows people to basically build them. So this is another project that we're really excited to see continue to find development and acceptance, and I think is going to be really hot in the upcoming year. Again, GameFi is just going to be one of these trends that continues to produce these 10x projects that are just like astronomical, explode onto the scene. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of our sort of staples of our project like portfolios going forward. One other one that I think is going to be exploding on the scene very soon here is Voyager, which was just listed on Coinbase Pro less than an hour ago. We'll begin trading tomorrow, but yeah, I think that announcement should tell you everything you need to know about in terms of it's doing a lot of really cool things. I think it's undervalued for where it could be. And yeah, it's continuing to put out really great announcements. They released their debit card registration yesterday. Yeah, I think they're just continuing to like be exciting and help people get into crypto. And especially when you compare them to Coinbase or crypto.com, who have much larger funding, much larger amounts of accounts, but they're kind of competing at the same level. That should tell you everything you need to know about it being undervalued and an opportunity to get in early. Another project that I think is capitalizing on this gaming NFT sort of space is Illuvium, which is more of a RPG sort of, I don't know, explain an RPG, but it's, yeah, I think it's an exciting project, and it's continuing to show what's possible when we combine NFTs and gaming and a lot of these other things that are just kind of at the forefront of crypto trends right now. Similar to that is My Neighbor Alice, which is a multiplayer builder game. I like to think about it like Minecraft or Stardew Valley or something like that. And yeah, combining that with some of the elements of like the Sandbox, things being tokenized in a digital sense. Yeah, it's just really cool. I think this is sort of like the first, I would almost call this like the crypto kitties of gaming NFTs, that sort of space. It's sort of that like first iteration where it's a little rough around the edges, but shows you, gives you kind of a vision as to where things are going. And I think it's just cool to look at. Another one, last one we'll talk about today is Solid Network, which is a finance and liquidity hub based off of Polkadot. It is still kind of coming out of ICO, so there's no real place to trade the token just yet. But I think that's an opportunity, given that it's just checking a lot of those boxes we like to see. It's built off of Polkadot, it's doing cross-chain, it's doing DeFi. It is built with liquidity and financial applications in mind. Just a lot of the really good stuff that I think is going to be just on fire throughout the rest of this year and into next one. So that is it for today. Just a good cross section of some of the trends and the projects that we're watching. Just lots of exciting stuff going on right now. I think it's a good time to be speculating into some of these alts, especially as the market is in a little bit of, I don't want to say blood in the streets or anything like that, but we're definitely not having the best of days. And that's the sort of time you want to be thinking about, okay, let's say the rest of this year goes a bit sideways for Bitcoin. People get a little bit frustrated with that. Are they going to diversify into alts? Are we going to see sort of end of year, which has historically been pretty positive for the crypto space? Are we going to see end of year energy that translates into altcoin action and maybe altcoin winter? We'll see. That is it from sort of the fundamental side. Now let's transition over to the charts. Let's talk about the technicals. What's going on from the market perspective? Doc, over to you.
You know, this is where I like working with Mav, because Mav tells you what you should be looking at. And the way I look at things is I'll tell you when you need to be, you know, jumping into a coin or when to avoid it. So with that, let's look over at the charts. Oh, wrong one. Okay, let's do that. All right. Almost shut off the whole webinar there. Okay, so now we've got this is Bitcoin, and it's on a monthly chart. And it's not a monthly chart, it's a monthly log chart. And this is what I use as my North Star to give me the sense of perspective. So here is that little tiny candle that's way up there. This is for perspective, or for context. That is what's going on with the current move. It's a little tiny move, and this is where you need to put things into context with that. So as we go down to, say, like the weekly chart, let's go back off into linear. What I'm seeing here is, and this is in chart pattern world, chart patterns are something that we see continually over and over again. This is a cup with handle pattern, and we're seeing a lot of these. And right now we're seeing the formation of the handle, and you got to be patient because the handle is going to take time to set up, probably another 2-3 weeks. Look, anything can happen. We don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen. But what we can do is we can box things in like this. We can give ourselves some framework to make decisions. If we see this consolidate for several weeks and build up the energy, and then we see a high volume breakout from there, then we know that's real. And there's a reason for it. So there's the neckline, which is just about 65,000. Cup with handle pattern. We're seeing that right now. We're also seeing that with Ethereum as well too, although you can make a case that it's already broken out above 4,400. One word on Bitcoin, what I want to see is, as long as the price holds above about 53,000, I don't care what it does in this area. This is all good. This is exactly what it needs to do. As long as it holds 53,000, and you should stay long above 53,000. If it starts to break below 53,000, what I would do is if you're short-term trading, then I would look for the next lower high and sell into that. If you're long-term holding, if you're just accumulating and stacking sats, then just hold on to these things. You're going to go through this type of volatility. Your job is to learn from these movements and not get shaken out on all the wrong moves, okay? So that's kind of what's happening with the big two. Now, I've had a lot of people dogpiling on here with a lot of requests, which is great. This is why we do this. I'll try to get through these as quickly as I can. And the first one that we had was XDC. What's going on with this? Not much, really. This is not really that great of a chart. It's moved into a weekly downtrend. We have lower highs and lower lows. I would put this one on avoid for right now, quite honestly. If you want to see this go higher, it's going to have to, we're about to do a death cross on this thing. That's how much the market hates it. I would want to see this break above the 50-day moving average and start to put in higher highs and higher lows on XDC versus the US dollar. Next one is QNT. So I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I see on these. This is QNT versus Tether. This one also looks relatively poor. For this one to change polarity, it's going to have to break above about 296. So right now, while the rest of the market's ripping, you've got these assets which are asleep, rolling around in the gutter. I would avoid these right now. Don't buy into this narrative of trying to buy the dip, because what goes low can go lower. Now let's get into one that has been requested at length here, which is POLC, Polka City. Polka City, and this is the first time I've looked at this. This is a big consolidation from range expansion, range contraction. This is building up a lot of energy. We're going to go out to the RSI Laguerre. This thing is about ready to go on the daily chart, but the weekly chart says, give me a little bit of time. So we may have a few more weeks of shake and bake here at this level in between 1.4 to 2.2 on Polka City before this one is ready to go. But I like the initial trend. It needs to break higher from here. And what you can do is you can watch this descending trend line. It's got to break above there for any hope of a breakout. Okay, some of the other ones that were requested. Let's see, XPR. XPR. Okay, so let's look at this one versus Tether. This does not look all that good, right? This is just a kind of a downtrend, just an ugly downtrend that we have. And I'm not seeing much of anything. So I'd wait until this one starts to print higher highs and higher lows before we want to chase after this one. Next one is Jasmy. Okay, Jasmy versus US dollar. Again, this one, there's a lot of haves and have-nots in today's market. This is the consolidation pattern. And I've seen this happen before where even though it's negative in the short term, it turns out to be a positive move longer term. So what I would want to see on this is some kind of break above 1.8 or so. But right now, this is not a positive. For the last few days, this is not positive. This is broken out the wrong way on Jasmy. Okay, Atom. Let's go with Atom versus US dollar. Another one which could be doing better. So what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of breakdowns right now. Some are strong. Money's rotating into the ones that are strong. Some are weak. This market is flushing out the ones that are, here's a former uptrend, which is broken to the downside. I would say Atom versus the US dollar is on the avoid list right now. CSPR, don't take it personally now. So CSPR is, let's see, Casper. Okay, so this one's setting up a base. This is one of these big cup bases that we see. And we've seen a lot of these on crypto. So this is just a big basing pattern. Here is the neckline for this. It's 16 cents. The depth of this goes from 8 to 16. And so if we add the two together, it's got a target, measure move target of about 24 cents. So what we're going to see here is consolidation underneath 16 cents. And we're going to see a break. Now, whether or not this makes a break for it depends on the volume that happens. The volume has got to be strong as it makes its break on Casper. Okay, let's see some other ones that were requested. I'm about halfway through the list here, so I'm not sure if I'll make it, but I'll give it a shot. Helium versus US dollar. This one is, see the difference here? This is a good chart. This is a positive chart. This is accumulation. We have a strong impulse wave, and it's moving into consolidation, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's in exhaustion, so it's going to pull back a little bit. It's staying strong while the rest of the market's selling off. This is a good chart. This is the type of chart that you want to be accumulating right now because it's attracting money. That's the reason. This is what I talked about. Mav will tell you what to buy. I'll tell you when to get it. So right now, this is showing a little bit of exhaustion, a lot of volume. That's really good, but I would wait another couple of weeks and either a break out above 52, or you could, yeah, I would say a break above 52 would be probably your most conservative play in this one. But give it a few weeks. This one is still not ready to go yet. Okay, Ren versus the US dollar. Ren, I would say avoid for right now. This is a former uptrend which has lost its luster. Many of these coins are starting to sell down. So the entire market was going higher for a while. Now we're in a little bit of a corrective period as BTC goes through this. Okay, let's see. Next one I've got here is RMRK. We'll try this one. I have nothing about this. This looks really good though. Again, here's an asset which is going higher in price. This is on the daily chart. This is all very new. Range expansion, range contraction. This is all good. Probably still too soon. I'd like to see this consolidate for several more days in this range and then look for the breakout on this guy. Okay, nice looking chart. Let's go to AVAX. See the difference between ones that are haves and versus ones that are have-nots? Here's another have. This one's a great looking chart. Look at what happened here. This is that cup with handle, right? This is the cup. This is the big basing pattern that sets up here. Here's the handle. Finally, look at the breakout on big time volume. Big volume showed up here. This is what makes or breaks a breakout from a coin. So we had big volume. We had the retest of the neckline. This thing is up and rolling. Daily chart looks really good. Okay. Weekly chart could stand with a little bit of consolidation, but this one is being accumulated with violence, I would say. This one is really being gobbled up. This is a really good looking chart. See, this is the difference between this is something that's attracting attention, and don't argue with the market. The market is always right. Okay, a couple more that I'm going to go over. Crypto.com coin. So this is CRO. And this one has just been on fire lately. Let's see. I think I have a better chart than this. Let's see if I can find it. It's somewhere down here. No, I'm not going to find it. I've got too big of a list. So this is on Coinbase, and obviously we don't want to do that. So let me see if I can find it on crypto.com. Probably not going to find it. All right, let's try it something else. This is fine. This is on KuCoin. So this is a really strong, look at the volume starting to come in. Look for the volume, guys. This one's getting a lot of attention. This one's doing really good, and it's cheap too. This is why people, this one's going to explode once it gets listed on all these other exchanges. Right now, I think this is why this is happening, as well as the Staples Center. Okay, couple more, and then we're going to wrap up for today. So let's see, Decentraland is, let's see, there we go, Decentraland. Is that the right one? Okay, let's try this one here. Yeah, okay, so this one has recently done really changed. Look at the volume change in the difference here. Decentraland is really, so I don't know what occurred at the beginning of November, but this is definitely a change in accumulation. So this is all very strong now. And look at the volume coming in. So I would look for a breakout above 3.5. Daily chart looks pretty good on this one. The weekly chart might be a little bit in exhaustion. It is. So I would expect to see a few more weeks here of shake and bake around this level before it breaks out. But this one looks like a very positive chart. Okay, last one I'm going to do is the old meme coin is Shiba. Okay, let's look at Shiba versus the US dollar. Okay, let's see Binance here. Lots of them, right? So this is a weekly chart. This one has, this is all meme coin. This has nothing to do with technical analysis. So meme coins get all of their demand just based on, just based on exposure, and very little of this is due to supply and demand conditions. It's all about, the buzz. It's all about the meme. So for right now, this one is sort of in consolidation. I would wait until this breaks above this trend line. So if you're looking to pick some up, either look to pick up on the breakout level, which is 0.00003, down here, or you could take a breakout from here on good volume. Okay, so with that, guys, I'm going to bring you back to the middle here. Thanks for all your requests. Hopefully we got to your coin. If you have any additional requests, please hit us up on our Discord. You're always you're always welcome to sign up for our Discord, join us, and if you want to see in particular thoughts on any specific coin or pair, I'd be happy to do that with you guys. Or just go in through our Omnia service, which is what we do every day. We're looking at the charts every single day, and my job is to teach you how to look at charts like this with a better eye and not just follow things blindly like the rest of the market is. Off to you, Mav.
All right. Yeah, as Doc said, the link to our Discord and some of our other free communities is down in the bio below, as well as the list of the top 10 projects that I was talking about earlier in the stream, if you missed that. So be sure to join those free communities. That's where we're sharing some of our best research and discussion and training, education, all that good stuff. So if you're new to crypto or you've been around the block, regardless, if you're looking for an edge in this market, especially with how volatile things are, how uncertain things are, it helps to be a part of a good community. And that's what we've strove to build from day one. That's what ReadySetCrypto stands for. So be sure to join us. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I think we're pretty much done for today's stream, but I think we're in a good position overall with the market. I think this is exactly what we're hoping for in terms of a small little forest fire, clears things up, gets us ready for the next move. And I'm hoping that it's going to be moving into alts. I think there could be a lot of potential from that. I think the market is ready for that. So let's see it. But otherwise, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us, as we'll see you in tomorrow, or no, God, next week's stream.
Seems like tomorrow. Yeah.
I know, right? It just flies by. It's yeah. Until then, take care. We'll see you then. Cheers, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Adios, amigos. See you guys. Take care.
See you guys.